The third record is on the way for sure.
That's
Can't
amazing.
wait.
We're excited, yo.
Yeah. How do you typically approach writing your bass lines for these albums?
I sit there with a mind to not care. I don't think about pressure. I don't think about whether or not people will like stuff. I just do it. From what I've learned from all the artists I've worked with, man, everybody just does what they want to do. The people that like it will gravitate to you and your music and everything you're doing. And the people that don't, they won't give it a listen, and that's fine. So I don't make music with this idea of trying to like please a group of people or reach out to a certain demographic of people. I don't care nothing about that. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make what I like, and I'm gonna make what sounds good to me first. And the people that like it, they're getting a chance to experience who I am. I learned from people like Snoop or like from Stevie Wonder, just different people I've worked with, man.
Welcome to the Everything and Anything podcast, where we talk about everything and anything. I'm your host, Frank.
And I'm your host, Uzi.
And today we have a special guest on our show. We have Bubby Lewis in the building, guys.
Bubby Lewis, how you doing, my man?
Y'all got me? Y'all got me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we got
sir.
you. We
Yes,
got
sir.
you. All good.
Yeah. Wonderful, man. Appreciate y'all having me, man.
Of
Nah,
course.
we
What time?
appreciate you.
What time is it over there right now?
It's 8:30 a.m. on, what is it? It's Thursday.
You are located in Tokyo, correct?
Yep.
That is crazy, my man.
Wow, it's Thursday over there? Wow.
It's Thursday, bro. It's Thursday.
Crazy, man. What's the
man.
day? What's the day got today? You got any rehearsals, any sessions going on?
Just some recording, man. I tried to knock out everything I really had for the week yesterday, some meetings and stuff like that. But today I'm gonna just be chilling at the crib, man, recording some stuff. I think that's about it for today, man. Once the weekend get here, it's gonna be a little different, but
Yeah,
ain't
the
too
weekend
crazy.
is where it all happens.
For sure. Saturday, Sunday, all the time.
I see. I see. How many shows you got this weekend?
Fortunately, none.
Oh,
No
okay.
shows. I did everything last week, man. So I'm off this weekend. I'm glad too, man, because since I've been home, I've been trying to spend as much time as I can with my family. It's been a long year, man. I've
I
been
see.
flying back and forth to the States a lot. Was out in Europe for like a month, and so yeah, it's gonna be good just to chill with the fam this weekend.
That's
Yeah,
really good.
that's super
That's really
important.
good. Time off is important.
Yeah,
Time
man.
off is
It
very
is.
important, man.
It is.
So we wanted to bring you on, just to tell us a little bit more about yourself, and we're very big fans of you, bro, by
Yes,
the way.
sir.
Like listen, I've been listening to you on bass since Gospel Chops, bro. Like way back in the way
Yikes.
back.
Afro, 700 pounds.
Yes.
Afro Bubby, man. Golly.
Yes. That is the
Golly,
Bubby,
man.
retro Bubby.
Fat, thugged out. Big
Yeah.
Bubby. Golly,
When you were in New York at the time, right?
I was living in LA, man. I was living in LA at that time. We shot that joint in, where did we shoot that mug? We shot it in LA actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we shot that joint right at SIR in near Hollywood. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Are you originally from LA? I don't know why I was under the impression you were from New York.
Man, I'm originally from Flint, Michigan, man.
Oh, Flynn! Wow.
Of all places, huh? Of all
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
so cool.
Flint, Michigan, man. That's my hood, man. And I moved to LA when I graduated high school. So it
Gotcha.
was the following year, 2005, is when I went. People always be like, man, you sound like you from LA. Where I come from in Flint, that pocket, like everybody just kind of sound like everything. Some of us sound like we from the South. Some of us sound like we from New York or Chicago. It just depends. So I'm just country, man. I got like a little country thing, and I be trying to, professionalize my voice. Hey, how you doing? I be trying to do that junk, but it don't it don't never last but a few minutes, and then I go right on back to the little
Right on back.
country, ham hocks. You know what I'm talking about? So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's crazy.
yeah,
So in
man.
Michigan, what are some musicians that were part of your come up in Michigan from your
Uh,
humble beginnings? When did you start playing bass?
man, I started when I was like 14, going on 15. I mean, I owe a lot to the guys I grew up around, man. They went to my father's church, man. Of course, I mean, I always shout this dude out till the day I leave, breathe my last breath. Eddie Brown. He's, I mean, he's every amazing piano player times a million. Like he's just different. Like there's nobody on earth like Eddie Brown. He's just different. If for anybody that's not familiar with him, just all you gotta do is type his name in. But he basically taught me everything I know about music.
That's amazing.
I was fortunate to play with him every Sunday, and his father played bass, his uncle played bass. We had other bass players in my church, Jacoby and then Kevin. It was a lot of different musicians I was around, man. All over Flint, it was amazing musicians, and of course Detroit, right up the freeway. It
Yeah,
was
yeah. That's like about 8 hours, right, from Flint.
no, that's like 45 minutes.
Oh,
Oh wow, super
wow.
close.
Yeah,
Okay.
45, 50 minutes. It's literally straight shot, straight shot. And I mean, I y'all already know Detroit is full of monsters. You know what I'm saying? Detroit
Yeah,
is like
Alan
Chicago.
Snoop Evans.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the J. Drew. The list goes on. I mean, it's you got all the gospel heavyweights, the Winans, Marvin Winans. You got the Clark sisters. It's like crazy how many incredible musicians come from Detroit. But it makes sense. That's Motown. So yeah, man. I'm fortunate. I came up around a lot of incredible musicians and singers and stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Definitely Eddie Brown. Shout out to Eddie Brown.
Eddie
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
crazy, man. My boy, man. He out here in Japan too.
Oh, okay. You guys traveling together?
Nah, we always used to talk about it when we was kids, and during the pandemic, that's when me and my wife got the process started to move here, right in 2020, like while everything was happening.
Wow.
And he was like, "Well, I'm about to leave too," and he ended up going to South Korea for 2 years, and then when he was done in South Korea, I was like, "Where are you going?" He was like, "Man, shoot, Japan was number one on the list for me." So now he's in Japan. He just lives like an hour away from where I am now. So yeah, yeah, man.
Wow. Okay. What's the music scene like in Japan?
J-pop and anime music.
That's exactly what I thought you
I
were gonna
expected
say.
that. Yeah.
But I
Anime.
imagine, you know what I mean? I imagine it probably smacks, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
smacking like a mug, man. I mean, it's uh, the community. What I'll say about music here in Japan is way different than the states. Some cities you go in like this, it's a great community of musicians and the music vibe. But then some cities you go in the states, it's like it's cliquish. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
Joker's got cliques and like phony like friendships and stuff like that just for opportunities. But out here, man, everybody likes everything out here. Like there's
Mm.
no, this city is all about R&B, and hip hop. Like LA, when I first moved to LA back in '05, it was like, you a black dude, all that matters for you is hip hop and R&B and quartet. You know what I'm saying? In New York, it's like, all right, jazz. You know what I'm saying? Chicago is like R&B. Philly is like R&B and back then, I don't know, R&B and hip hop, I guess. But out here, it's everything, man. Reggae, doggone polka music. You got the J-pop anime stuff. They be on Bollywood music out here. Like
Oh, wow.
it's just everything, man. And I love the mess out of that. I really do. It's
They
so
even do
dope.
Latin music too. I was
Yeah,
watching a
everything.
video of them doing Latin music.
Latin music, um, everything, man. Like the Brazilian stuff, dude, bro. Like it's everything. Tamboa, you hear everything out
Incredible.
here. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like soca, you'll hear soca. You hear
Oh,
Africana
okay.
stuff. Everything. It's
Wow.
crazy.
That's a producer's dream. You have everything there,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Everything is here, man. I mean, and they appreciate everything. You know, like if y'all came out here, let's say y'all started a band, and you come out here instantly, you gonna have a fan base. Like they're like, oh, something new. That's the way they are out here. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And they don't, back home. I kind of feel sorry for a lot of the musicians that are coming up in this day and age with social media and stuff because now you gotta kind of have something to show in order for people to give you a chance. You know what
I
I
see.
mean?
Yeah,
But out here, it's like they don't care nothing about what you've done. It's just like, oh, you got a band. When is your show? Oh, okay, I'm gonna come to your shows. Just like
I
that.
see. There's very
It's
high
crazy.
appreciation of music and the arts.
Supporting,
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot of
They old
support.
school,
Wow,
man. With all the technology that I mean, everything, all the tech come from here.
that's
You know what I'm
true.
Right,
saying?
Yep,
right.
But they're like they're not wrapped up in the hoo ha of what year we're in, you know, and how fast everything is moving. Like they're still appreciative of the old school, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's I love this place, man. I love it.
that's
It's
awesome.
cool.
So,
That's
Hmm.
awesome. So you moved to LA in '05. You said. I noticed.
Yep.
What were some of the artists that you started with? I know Snoop Dogg was one of them
yeah.
that
Yeah.
I can clearly remember. Who else did
Oh
you?
yeah. So when I first got there, truth be told, man, a lot of people don't know this, but I always enjoy sharing it because it's part of my story. But it's never a means to an end. When I first moved to LA, I couldn't get a gig at all.
Wow.
Nobody wanted to even hire me. Um, this is before social media. This was before YouTube was a thing, and we didn't even have iPhones and stuff like that. Like it was flip phones still. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, way
BlackBerry
back.
hadn't even really came out. The Sidekick, none of that junk was cracking like that yet. So when I moved to LA, man, at that time, first off, at that time, being into like nerd stuff, like anime and Star Wars and all that kind of stuff, it wasn't cool. Being black and being into that stuff, oh no, that's forbidden. Back then, you know what I'm saying? Being like Latino and into that stuff, that's forbidden. Being anything, anywhere where you from, is forbidden. No,
Mm.
like don't watch Star Wars. What is that? That's what them weirdos be into. So that's what I really dealt with. And then the way I play, I could play hip hop and R&B. I could play everything, but that's what the problem was. I could play everything. You know,
Oh,
at
okay.
at that time, it's like this is all you need to know how to play. Play R&B, play hip hop, and play quartet gospel music. But if you know how to play rock music too, or metal, or like country music, oh no, you corny. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay, okay.
that's what I dealt with. Even though where I come from, what Eddie taught me, he was like, man, versatility is what's gonna be beneficial for you. So I was listening to everything growing up, bro. Like from everywhere. Like I used to go to Borders bookstore and I would go into all the different world music and just studying, listening to that junk. That's back when you could listen to the CD before you buy it.
Hmm.
And it'd be random artists I ain't never heard of, but I would be like, okay, I ain't never heard this type of music before. What's this called? This is Finnish metal. Okay, I'm about to buy this record. I don't even know how to pronounce the name. I don't know nothing, but I'm a listen to this junk and I'm gonna play some of these songs. And when I got to LA, they wasn't on that at the time. On the time, it was just like, no, that's not cool. You're not hip if you don't dress like this, if you don't drive this type of car. You know what I'm saying? It just real materialistic and closed mindedness is what I experienced, and I couldn't find a gig to save my life, man. And But I remember when I met Andrew Goucher. Shout out to Goucher. I always shout him out too.
Andrew, shout out the legend.
I wouldn't even be where I am today if it wasn't for that cat, man. Like if it wasn't for Gooch, I would not have ever got a shot. Like nobody gave me a chance, but he's the godfather.
He really
And
is.
yeah, he is. And I met him at my first NAM in '03. And like we hit it off and stuff like that. I didn't even know what he looked like at the time. I can go into that whole interaction is still hilarious. But fast forward, he told me if you ever come to LA, holler at me. So I hit him up and I would go to his jam sessions and stuff like that. And I had been living in LA for a year and a half. It was December of 2006. And I went to go see my girlfriend at my cousin's church. She's now my wife. And it was after church, so we just kind of walking around, everybody fellowshipping in the sanctuary and whatnot. And I got a call on my Chirp Nextel. It's the one that had the little
Yeah, yeah,
Walkie-talkie.
I remember those.
Y'all remember them?
Yeah.
hey, I thought I was tight, cuz I used to be like, hey, what's cracking? I thought I was killing with that joint. But anyway, he called me. He's just random, man. He was, what's going on, man? I was like, what's up, Gooch? What you up to, man? Oh, nothing. I'm just here, so and so, da 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 da. And so we small talking, and he says, hey, man, so who you playing with now? And I was like, nobody. He was hot. Like what you mean? And I was like, I'm not playing for nobody. And he was like, why? He asked me all these questions. What, you don't want to? And I was like, no, it's not that. And I finally just told him, I said, man, nobody really wants to work with me. I've tried. And he was, well, what about this person? What about that? But he's naming all these different people. And I was like, nobody wants to work with me, man. Like I've tried everybody. I've tried reaching out to everybody. I've talked to this person, and he was, well, why not? And I was like, dude, I don't know. And the only thing I did know is that some people had said that I was too, like, that I was weird. You know what I mean? Like, cause I like, just cause I'm into anime and stuff like that. Like, it just wasn't cool, like, or because I played a 6-string, because I can play chords, because I could solo. Like, that was all the things that I was hearing. And so he was going off, man, on the phone. He was just like, this is stupid. This is crazy. Well, what about this? And dude, I'm sorry. I don't know. Long story short, man, he was like, man, let me hit you back. And I hung up the phone and I just looked. I was like, man, like, I don't know what to tell you. 45 minutes later, man, he called me back and he was like, hey, man, listen, so I got you on Snoop's gig.
What?
Wow.
Yo, imagine getting that phone call, bro.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah, like it was, bro, and I was flabbergasted. Like, I'm still walking around the church, and I was like, what? He said, I got you on Snoop's gig. They gonna call you. So I'm like, so what is it, the audition? He said, no, it ain't no audition. They're gonna call you. You're the bass player. That's it. It's over.
Wow.
And sure enough, they called me. And the first run that they was doing, I didn't know nothing, man. I was still 20 at the time.
Wow.
And I didn't know jack skippy about nothing. And like, I didn't know I needed a passport. I'm from the country, bro. Like, I didn't, we didn't know about stuff like that. I'm from the country. And so they called me the first time and they was like, all right, we got to go to Europe. You got your passport? And I was like, oh, no. And they was like, okay, get your passport. We'll have to hit you on the next one. And so my boy Steve Bruner, Thundercat, went out on that one.
Thundercat.
He went out on that run, yeah. And but when they came back, they hit me again. They was like, you got your passport now? I was ready. I was locked in. And then we did 2 rehearsals. And next thing I know, I was on a private jet flying around Europe.
That is freaking incredible, bro.
Yeah.
I remember watching a video. Of the rehearsals with Snoop. And man, I remember you just, showing the, at that time, I wasn't really exposed to certain, behind the scenes footage and stuff like that. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's how the big dogs do it. That is so cool.
I'll never forget those moments, man. And you know, it was really hard and hurtful, man. When I got to LA, it just
Mm.
some of the things I went through, but that's why I say it's never a means to an end, man. And I know it's Disney talk, and I know people hear it all the time, but even in the midst of all of that, if you just gotta just hang on, man, just
Yep.
wait and just keep trying, and eventually, as long as you don't do to others what have been done to you, you'll be straight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Correct.
And opportunities will come, and it's like, and I remember my older brother told me, he said, all you need is just one opportunity. He said, and when you get it, it's a snowball effect after that.
Mm.
And he was right. All those years ago, it's like the minute I started playing with Snoop, that's when all these other artists, I mean, like Busta Rhymes, everybody Snoop is affiliated with, Fat Joe, everybody. I end up
Whoa.
working with everybody, man. DJ Quick and uh man, just the game, everybody, Nipsey Hussle, everybody.
What?
Wow.
It's
Yo.
just it's crazy, man, how it just it started with Dog, and then it just went to everybody else. You know what I'm
What's it
saying? And
like? What's it like working with Snoop Dogg?
it is amazing, man. I mean, he's the first person in the industry that's actually really in it to show me that everything that I was hearing is not true. Like, for example, like it was musicians in LA saying that Bubby is corny because he listens to country music, and he listen just for listening to it. Like I was getting made fun of, but I go in Dog's room at the hotel, and he's listening to Dolly Parton, and you know what I'm saying, like, and I was like, huh? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, or sometimes I go in there and he's listening to Charlie Parker, and I'm like, how do you even know about this? Like, how do you know about John Coltrane? You know what I mean? Like, or either he would be listening to some ranchero music or some, you know what I'm saying, like some
Mm.
some banda or something like that. And I'm like, how do you even know about this type of music? But I realized people that's actually in it, they're they're literally the same as me. You know what I'm saying? Like when this dude found out that I'm like a martial arts movie fanatic, he started competing with me to see who seen more movies. I bet you ain't. I bet you ain't seen Three the Hard Way with Jim Kelly, and I'm like, man, I bet you ain't seen so and so with Jackie Chan. I'm like, dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the thing that folks in L.A. was telling me was corny. Snoop and DJ Quick and Dr. Dre and all these different people, they do all the same stuff. They play video games. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the first person that I saw that it was like a man, it was just like an eye opener, man. And then he let me be who I am, like the way I play. I was just kind of just doing my job at first, just let me just groove it out. But when he would hear me soloing and stuff like that, I remember he was like, man, I didn't even know you could play like that. He was like, you like a virtuoso or something, cuz. And I was like,
You
dog,
sound
that's
like
what.
him too.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
dog, I was rolling, man, and some of the stuff this dude would be saying, but then he was like, "Oh, we gonna have to do some band solos now, nephew. I didn't know you could do all of that." Like it's. I'm grateful to Dog, man, because Dog he let me do my thing, and I wasn't trying to. I was just being me, but he just was like, own it, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all the stuff that you can do, like do that junk. You know how to do it, go do it. I'm gonna let you do it. And
Mm.
I remember he told me one time, this stage, he said, you see this there, nephew? We was doing this big festival. No, it wasn't a festival. It was a like a outdoor arena. It was like a massive football arena, like soccer football. Um, we were somewhere in Europe, and he just like was walking in front of me. He said, "You see all of this?" He said, "This yours." Talking about the stage. He said, "Go wherever you want." He said, "Do what you gonna do." He said, "Step out there. This your time."
Wow.
And I was 21 years old, and the the encouragement and the freedom he gave me, man, it's I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I feel like I would tell this to a lot of people. Like being true to yourself is always like the best thing that you can do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
Not.
you being
Mhm.
so versatile with different genres of music, how did you develop like your signature sound and tone?
Um, spending time with myself, man.
Mm,
You know, when I first started like learning the bass, I wanted to. I was listening to all the greats. You know, obviously Jocko, Marcus Miller, Stanley Clark, Victor Wooten. You know, everybody. Of course, John Patitucci. John Patitucci really struck me, and I when I first started understanding the concept of soloing and like harmony and melody and stuff like that, I was like a clone of Patitucci.
Wow.
And so everything that I would play, this is like I learned how to solo, man. Like I feel like maybe 6 or 7 months after I started playing bass, I learned how to solo, and I could hear it. I could always hear it even before I was playing, but I just couldn't physically do it. But when I figured out how to physically do it, everything that I was doing sounded like Patitucci. Everything. And I remember me and Eddie was up in my dad's church one time. Me and him used to go up there, especially like in the summer, dog, when I had summer break. Like we would go up there. It would be Bible class on Wednesday, and me and him would stay, and we would stay till like the next morning, just shedding, just jamming in the church. The light, it would be like one light on in the sanctuary. That was some scary junk, but we in the house of the Lord, so it's all
yeah.
right. It's the house of the Lord, so we safe. But anyway, we'd be shedding, and I remember it was this one time, man. We would jam stuff, and he would take like 30, 40 minute solos, and then so he'd tell me do the same thing, and I uh I started taking a solo, and he was like, "All right, man, that's cool, but let me hear what you got to say." So I'm sitting there soloing, and everything I'm doing sound like Patitucci. And he stopped me again. He was like, "Bubby," he said, "I got to tell you this." He said, "That's you think that's cool that you can imitate John Patitucci." He said, "But the truth is you'll only be a weaker imitation."
Mm,
And for me, as a 16 16-year old, that junk hurt my heart, because basically he was telling me like, well, I'm killing. He's like, no, you're not killing. You know what I'm
mm,
saying?
Wow.
But he was right though. And so from that moment, I was like, man, I don't really understand what to do going forward, but I'm gonna just figure something out so I don't sound like Patitucci no more. So what I did was I just started spending time with myself, and instead of trying to emulate what I heard Patitucci do, I started just thinking to myself, well, I hear that chord that Patitucci did this lick over, and his lick is sweet, but let me come up with my own lick. You know what I'm saying? So I had to like start.
Individuality, basically.
That's it. That's it. Right there. I had to start singing to myself my ideas, and then from there I just register that to the bass, and that's how it happened. And that's something 20 years later I'm still practicing. You know.
incredible.
That's crazy. I remember there was a bass. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be completely off, but there was a when you started because you're endorsed with MTD currently, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
When did that start? Was that with the Snoop Dogg tour?
That I actually got with Mike and Dan before I even had a gig.
Oh,
It was my
okay.
first NAM show. 2003 was my first NAM. Um, and wait, was it two? Yeah, 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 yeah. It was 2003. That was my first NAM show, and Goucher, once again,
He linked you up.
he
Oh wow. Okay.
that's where I met him. I was jamming at where was I? I can't remember whose booth I was at, but it was me and it was this bass player. I'm not gonna try and pronounce his last name, but Imte, and I can't pronounce his. He's amazing. He wears gloves when he plays. He's absolutely insane. And it was this other cat that was playing bass that reminded me so much of Rocco Prestia. but we're jamming, and I got my eyes closed and I'm soloing. By this time, I had figured out my own vocabulary and my voice. This was like a year and a half, 2 years almost after I had been playing bass, and I opened up my eyes and it was like 1,000 people standing around, and that junk kind of scared me. Cause and like this is back in '03, so jokers had cameras sitting on their shoulder, like it was,
The big ones.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Like we ain't had the little
Yo.
trinket joints yet. Like it was jokers sitting there with the joint on their shoulder, like with their mouth open and stuff. So I'm like, what's going on? And I see this big old tall black dude, man. It looked like a linebacker standing outside the window, and he's just staring. And so me and the other bass players was done, and this big black dude came and got me. And I kid you not, man. Now I'm a teenager. I'm like 16, 17 years old. I'm thinking that this is a security guard.
Mhm.
And so I thought I did something wrong. I thought like I, broke the NAM show. I didn't know. I didn't know, man. It was a lot of people around. I ain't never seen nothing like that before. And so he was like, come with me. And so he's talking to me like complimenting me, but I'm not even paying attention because I'm trying to chirp my sister with my next tail, like brr, brr, trying to let her know, like, hey, they about to put me out. That's what I think is happening. He takes me to this booth and I see all these beautiful basses, and I see this old Jewish guy with a Santa Claus beard. It's Mike Tobias.
Mike Tobias, yo,
It's Mike
what?
Tobias. It's bro. It's the most. And he's like, sit down. And I'm like, well, I gotta find my heat, man. Just sit down real quick. Pick up that bass. Well, I gotta find my sit, man. Just pick up the bass, man, and play. Mike, check this out. Check out this kid right here. So I started playing, and Mike, he just was just staring at me, just watching me play, and after that. And by the way, that bass was so amazing. It felt so good. And even as I was playing it, I was like, dang, man, this mug feel good. It sound good and all this kind of stuff. And after that, Mike gave me his card. He said, I'm Michael Tobias. And that's when I was like the Michael Tobias, you know what I'm saying? He was like, if you're ever interested in me building you a bass, you let me know. You talk to your parents
Wow.
about it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And Dan was there, Dan Tobias, who's like one of my best friends. That's like my brother. And then after that, now Gooch had already introduced himself to me, but I wasn't paying attention. I was scared. So, he asked my name and all this kind of stuff, da 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 da. But then again, he says, I'm Andrew Goucher. And I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, is this the same guy that played on like Edwin Hawkins and Walter Hawkins, and like I'm thinking about all these records, but me
Yeah.
and Eddie, we thought his name was pronounced Andrew Gouch. We didn't know,
Oh.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we was reading these cassette tapes and stuff from back in the day, so we're like, in the credit it says Andrew Gouch or Gouchy, you know what I'm saying? Gouche. We didn't know how to pronounce that junk. We're
That's
from the
funny.
country, man. But yeah, that's how I met Gooch, and he introduced me to Mike. And this was in 2003 at the NAMM show. I got my first MTD bass 2004 after I graduated high school, and that's when I became an MTD artist. So before Snoop, before anything, Mike is the
Wow.
first person to give me a chance. And like, I didn't even know anything about that, being an artist or endorsement. I didn't know nothing about that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Mike was like, no, I just want to build you a bass. So
Wow.
yeah, people ask me still to this day, like, dude, do you have any other basses? No. All I got is MTDs. That's all I want.
That's amazing.
That's
And
amazing.
MTDs are killer. Oh my
They're
gosh, they
amazing.
sound incredible.
I love Mike is like a father to me. I mean, Dan is literally my brother. Me and this dude talk every week, and it's not even about music. It's about Star Wars and comic books and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my brother. Yeah.
Do you still have your first original bass that he made for you?
Wow.
It's sitting right over here. It's literally it's the third bass on this rack right here. Yeah.
Okay.
Got-
Didn't you have? I remember you playing like a blue MTD bass way
Let
back.
me
I think it had one humbucker.
let me see a blue one. Well, do I have a blue one?
How
Hold
many
on.
basses
So,
do you have, bro?
man, I got like 15, 16.
Shoot!
Eesh.
Yeah, I mean, I just got one in the summer. I just got another 5 string Saratoga, but
Oof.
I got like three in the works right now, man.
Oh, in the
It's
shop? Okay.
oh yeah. Like I'm not. These things are like pieces of art to me. You know what I mean? So it's like, and Dan has really stepped into the like on the field as the person that's taking the company now, and he's. But it's funny, a lot of these bases that I have, Dan was the one that was making them. Mike has always had Dan involved, always. And like my signature bass, Dan is the one that came up with that concept. The headless MTDs that are so popular right now, that's
Have you
Dan
played those
also.
yet? Oh my god, I'm trying to play
Got
one.
one. I got one.
Oh
My
wow.
third signature bass is a headless. Dan is the one who
Wow.
came up with the whole design. I mean the bro, like Dan. I've been saying this for years. Mike is Odin. Dan is Thor.
Mm.
Yo.
If, if anybody keeps up with comics right now, Thor is ridiculous. Like it's he just took what Mike did and just took it further. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
But it's the
amazing.
same. It's the same. He keeps the same integrity, the same beauty, and the you know how serious he is about the design and stuff like that. It's just the same as Mike, man. It's incredible to see it. You know?
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
Does he make anything else besides basses? Does he do guitars too? Or
Guitars, acoustic guitars. They're making me a shamisen, which is a Japanese lute. It got 3 strings on it. They
oh,
can
so you play
make.
other instruments too?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I can fake a guitar. You know, I ain't. I got 2 MTD guitars. I can't even hardly play
What?
them. Yeah, they sitting in the case. I can't hardly play them joints, but I wanted them just in case I ever feel like trying to procrastinate. Yeah, you know,
So you came out with like an album, right?
couple.
And
Yeah, I got 2. Yep.
yeah, you have like a recent one, I think, right? That came out like a
Couple years ago,
couple
Hero
years ago.
Dynasty came out a few years ago. The first one, Adventures in Quest, that came out in like 2017 or something. I got a third one I'm working on that's gonna come out this coming year under a completely different name. I'll surprise y'all, but yeah, I've been working on a lot of different projects with different people, different group projects, and different artists and stuff like that. But third record is on the way for sure.
That's
Can't
amazing.
wait.
We're
Can't wait.
excited, yo.
Yeah, how do you typically approach writing your bass lines for these albums?
Um, I mean, I just, man, I sit there with a mind to not care. Everything for me is I just don't care, and I don't like, I don't think about pressure. I don't think about whether or not people are like stuff. I just do it. You know what I mean? I just do whatever I hear. Um, yeah, from what I've learned from all the artists I've worked with, man, everybody just does what they want to do, and if people like it, the people that like it will gravitate to you and your music and everything you're doing, and the people that don't, they won't give it a listen, and that's fine. So I don't make music with this idea of trying to like please a group of people, or reach out to a certain demographic of people. I don't care nothing about that. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make what I like, and I'm gonna make what sounds good to me first. And the people that like it, they're getting a chance to experience who I am. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Okay,
This
yeah.
is this is what I learned from people like Snoop, or like from Stevie Wonder. Just different people I've worked with, man. Like this is what Stevie has been doing forever. He just makes what he wants. You know what I mean? Like Dog would just make what he wants. Janae Aiko, she's another one. She literally would just go in the
Janae.
studio.
Yeah.
Working with her is amazing. She'll just
I
go
was
into the
gonna ask you
studio,
that, man.
Yeah,
bro.
she's amazing.
She's one of my favorite people in the world. Like
Mm.
her just her character and everything, man. Her family, everything. She just goes in that mug and she's like, I want to do a song about this. And it could just be something that's on her mind. And it has nothing to do with what she heard on the radio or trying to sound like this, something like bump all of that. She's like, nah, I want to make a song about this right here. And she'll do it. And
Wow.
and that junk be a hit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I love it, man. That's the way I like to work. That's the type of people I like to work with. And that's what I do, man. I don't think too hard on, how should I do the bass line or what should the chords be. I don't care if I come up with a song and it's 600 chords in it. If that's what I want, that's what I want.
Right.
Got
And if
you.
people like it, they like it. If they don't, it's all good. I have no regrets because I had fun making it.
I love that.
Yeah, I love
I
that.
love that.
So
You're
yeah,
pouring yourself into your
that's it.
music. You know what I mean?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. So let me ask you, have you ever had, I mean, you've worked with a lot of the greats, you've worked with a lot of incredible musicians.
Legends.
Have you ever had embarrassing moments, any flops that you want to talk about?
Oh man, where do I start?
Learning opportunities.
Bro, I've had, and I'm not. The thing is, let me tell y'all right now, I don't get embarrassed. Um, but I've had situations where I know people would be embarrassed, but I just don't get embarrassed because for me, it's like, well, the Lord supplies the air I breathe, and
Amen.
I answer to Him. I don't answer to
Amen.
nobody else. That's just what I believe. But bro, I'm not embarrassed to say this, bro. I've boo booed on myself on stage before.
Yo!
What? Wasn't expecting that, was you?
No.
Dog, it's this tea that I used to
On
drink
stage, bro?
on stage. On stage. It's this tea.
No.
It's this tea I used to drink because it tasted good to me. It's called Smooth Move. Have y'all ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Smooth Move. So traveling a lot, getting on and off these airplanes and stuff like that, all that air pressure can kind of mess with your digestion, right? So I found this tea. I forgot who told me about it, but you can get it at any grocery store. It's called Smooth Move, but it basically helps you have like proper bowel movements, right? So I would bring it out on the road, and if anybody needed it on the road, I was like, yo, I got it. Cause all that air pressure bottling up and you're getting on and off flights, like that junk can make it really hard. And there was this one time, man, we was in Australia and I ate a whole bunch of spicy peanuts. I
The
ate
boiled peanuts? You talk about the boiled peanuts?
They was spicy boiled peanuts, man.
Oh, man.
They were fire though, and I had some Smooth Move tea. And we're in Australia, and man, I kid you not, I remember this junk like it was yesterday, dude. We were playing gin and juice, and it was like, let me see, with so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard. Me and Snoop D, Double G, but right when he got the butt out, that's when my stomach started like, oh, and I was like, oh no, man. Like I didn't go full on like, kaboom, but it was enough.
Yeah.
And we still had a show to finish, so I mean, I just was like, it's nothing I can do. It's like this is it. It's like I gotta finish the show, and I finished the show. Thank the Lord, nobody came over there and was smelling it, and you know what I'm saying. Like I'm not at all ashamed to even talk about this because it's real life, and I just don't get embarrassed. Like I've told people throughout the years, my pants could fall down on national TV, and I'm gonna just be like, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's crazy.
that's just me. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yeah, I've had embarrassing moments, man. I've had situations on TV where uh like I played the wrong note, you know, and stuff like I've everything you probably can imagine. I've been down that road, but you know, I'm still here today. You know what I'm
Bounce
That's
saying?
back.
great.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
bounce back.
Yeah,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like
Like you
yeah,
lived through all that. You know what I mean?
you do. And who's perfect? You know, it was I was doing a we were doing some TV shows with Lupe Fiasco, and
Wow.
this song that it just came out, we didn't have no rehearsals or nothing, and it was last minute that Lupe got this opportunity to do the TV show, and he decided last minute that he was gonna have a band do it. And so we didn't even really have no time to rehearse. Like we went to SIR in New York and ran it. So me and the guitar player came up with this little thing we were gonna do, right? And when the time came on the TV show, I was the only one that did it. So it made it sound like,
Like you
you know
messed
what I'm
up in
saying?
the whole.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I'm a bass player too, so I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
I
Yep.
mean, it's like, and bro, it is what it is. Like when it happened, I just kind of just put my head up, and he looked over at me, and I just looked, and I was like, "It's all good." Like, you know what, bro? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like I'm still here. I'm still thankful that
Right.
people call me. you know, you know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Like,
Yeah.
it
dude,
happens.
dude, think about all the musicians that like do hard drugs that have done TV shows, and I mean they fall and pass out and all that. You know, like if they can continue, come on, man. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
it, come on, man. Like
That's a great
it's not.
mentality.
Yeah, it's not the end of the road, man. It's not the end of the road. Snoop has forgot his lyrics. Lupe has forgot his lyrics. Janae, I mean, everybody that I've ever worked with, everybody, man, has something has happened. They
Of course.
slipped and fell, or something. You know what I'm saying? Like whoop de doo, whoop de doo.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Uzi and I have like this thing where we talk about this a lot. Like, uh, we talk about how 10,000 hours into your craft is more
Mm.
like kind of like a stepping stone to
It
get
puts
you
you,
to
yeah, it
evolve,
makes you
makes you
like a
evolve.
master. You master it
Oh yeah,
when you get to a certain amount of hours. It makes you basically a master of that skill or craft.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
how much how many hours would you say you put in? And I know that's such a generic because it varies for everybody. But
Yeah,
No,
what
it's a
do you
good question.
enjoy practicing? Do you have a set time
yeah.
limit?
What's your approach? And
Because you're really fast on the bass, and bro, I want to
Man,
play as fast as you, bro. Like, oh my god, you're
it's all
incredibly
in the
fast,
mind, man.
bro.
It's the speed is all in the mind. That's a good question, man. So I'll put it to you like this: when I first started practicing, um, bro, when I was like on break from school, whether it be spring break or winter break or whatever you want to call it, I would just stay in my room, and I would only come out to eat, and I would go back in the room. There was times where I stayed up for more than 24 hours practicing.
wow.
Mm,
Just because I fell in so much love with the instrument. You know what I mean? And the more the more I was going, the more I was discovering stuff. Like this is really early on. And dude, there was some points, man, where I would be practicing. Like I would get out of school for the weekend, right? So I would get out Friday, and as soon as I come home, I would just put my stuff down, I would eat, and then I would go in my room and practice. I would be practicing till like 10 a.m. Saturday, and I would eat and then take a nap, wake up, practice again, and then go to sleep, get up for church, play at church, and then come home and practice till 4 in the morning, take a shower and all this kind of stuff, and then go to school. Like, I was doing stuff like that just
Wow.
because I was discovering more. When I would get out for the breaks though, like for summer break and stuff, it was bananas. Like I wouldn't even come out to take showers for like 2 days. I would just cause I was figuring things out. You know what I'm saying? And I was understanding certain things that I was listening to that sound so hard. Actually, that's not hard. So I
Mm.
was figuring it out. But back then, I could do that. When you get married and when you get kids, It changes.
Yes, sir.
So
Exactly.
now most of my practice is when I'm recording, when I'm doing work. Like for example, Superfly, the all that October London stuff. Like I played on his first record. I played on this new one that just came out. He'll send me stuff,
Wow.
and I could one take these joints. It's like R&B, but I could literally one take it. You know what I'm saying, and be done in 4 minutes. But I won't send him my stems for like 2 and 3 hours because I'll sit there and shed over it for as long as I can while I'm working. You know what I mean? Um, and a lot of times that's the only time I do have. And if I'm not working, sometimes I may practice for like an hour. Sometimes I may only get 20 or 30 minutes. But what I have learned is now, even though I don't have the where I can practice 8 hours or 10 hours and this is that and other, I may not have that now, but if I only got 30 minutes, it's what I practice.
I like that.
It's how extreme. So yeah, a lot of times now, if I know I only got 20 minutes, everything I'm about to do is going to be at 700 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get a quick burn. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yes.
people that go to the gym and they work out for 3 and 4 hours versus the guy that goes in the morning that can only work out for 45 minutes. He's
Mm-hmm.
gonna get on the treadmill. He's gonna try and hit that. Run 5 miles in 6 minutes type of. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And then he's gonna try and do his quick lift. Boom, boom, boom. Let me take a little 5 minute shower. Now I gotta go to work. I'm on that time now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, early on it was super long. I would do 5-6 hours minimum, but 10 hours was normal.
Wow.
Sometimes I would practice 16 hours. I kid you not, like
Wow.
The
just
passion.
literally, yeah, like because I loved it, and I mean, my fingers would be bleeding and stuff like that. But I was trying to figure out different things about technique, and I could always hear stuff. I tell people this all the time. I could always hear everything I wanted to play before I even did it. I didn't understand. I didn't understand perfect pitch was perfect pitch. I just thought, you know, I thought everybody can hear the notes. And growing up, I didn't tell people that I had synesthesia. I didn't even know it was called synesthesia. I didn't tell people that though because the homies would have thought I was weird. Y'all know what synesthesia is, right? That's
What is
like
that?
the
Break it down for us.
colors. Synesthesia is when you can hear color. You can you
Oh,
can
I've heard
you
that
can
before.
like you can taste music. You know what I mean? You can smell music. So basically like uh let me see. Okay, prime example. This is my favorite color. Teal and turquoise is my favorite color. This is A flat to me.
Mm.
It's A flat to me, right? That's an A flat. That's basically what synesthesia is. So growing up, I never really said nothing about it because I thought the homies would have been like, man, you gonna blow the school, or they would have thought I was on some weirdo. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Yeah.
just kept it on the low. But I found out randomly one day that Eddie had synesthesia too, because we was listening to this Frank Gambale record, Thunder from Down Under, and it was this song called "Leave the Ozone Alone." And on the solo section, it's these real pretty chords, and one of the chords went by, and Eddie was like, "Man, that's such a pretty orange." And I looked at him, I was like, "Huh?" And he just said, "I said that chord is just such a pretty orange." And I was like, "You be seeing colors with music?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh man, I ain't know this." And I've known him since I was like 5 years old. But we
Wow.
we found out when we was teenagers, we both got synesthesia. So I could always like relate everything to music, and I could always hear the notes and this is that and other, but I couldn't physically do it. So all those long practice hours, man, that's when I was discovering it's easier than what I think it is. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but I like that 10,000 hour thing. That's actually really logical. It makes sense. It
Yeah,
makes a lot of
master.
sense.
Like you could master any craft.
Yeah,
Mechanic. You could be
putting
a
that much time in.
woodworker. If you continue to put in, you cap it at 10,000. Once you look back and you say, I did 10,000, you're gonna look back and be like, okay,
You'll see
now
the
I'm expert
change.
level. Now I'm top tier. Now I went from here to here. Now I'm somewhere else where I can
That makes
build.
sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
So, have you ever come across? Now, you don't have to name any names for this, but have you ever come across artists that have had a hard time performing or in the studio, or they have to use all this auto tune, or they're not really good at their craft?
Oh
What?
man, I mean, dude, the number is staggering.
Yeesh.
The number is staggering. But what I will say is this: um, it's today is different, man. Today is different. The industry though has been the same for a long time. It's ever since the Milli Vanilli days. I feel like that's when things kind of changed in the industry. And I actually set up and had a conversation with Quincy Jones about this because he talked
Wow,
about
Quincy
this. And
Jones.
what better person to get some wisdom from, right? But he was saying back in his day, like back in when he was doing the Frank Sinatra and all that kind of stuff, this is before Michael Jackson. He said almost everybody that worked in the labels and this, that, and the other, everybody was a great musician. Even if you worked behind you answered the phone, like everybody could do something. Nowadays, you have a lot of people that maybe just went to school to learn the business side, but they don't know a lick about music. But unfortunately, a lot of times they're the ones calling the shots, right? So this is the reason why you'll have a lot of rappers or singers or whatnot that can't sing to save their life, but they have a look. And society has been groomed into caring more about a look or caring more about, who you're related to. This is so and so's son, or this is so and
Perception.
so's daughter. Exactly. This is so and so's daughter, and so and so was famous. So the daughter can be famous too, or the niece can be famous too, and that doesn't guarantee that, you know no, like
Quality.
my
Yeah.
yeah, my father was a pastor, but just because he was a pastor, that doesn't mean, well, let me be a pastor too. No, 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 no.
Right.
That's a calling. The Lord has to call you for that.
Right.
He literally has to call you and appoint you for that. I'm not gonna do that just because I'm trying to keep that that role in the family. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? So um yeah, I've come in contact with a lot of artists that you know suffer with that. But what
Anti
I
and
will
what is it? Synesthesia.
synesthesia, yeah. Oh man, and
Anti-synesthesia.
it's rough sometimes. But what I will say, for many of them, they truly do genuinely love music and they're trying. So I commend them for trying. And also, they may sound like that now, but keep working, you'll get better. It's like what
Yes,
you
sir.
said. If you keep working at it, you'll get better. And the other side of it is, nobody Janae is like spectacular vocally. She's I tell her all the time, like, she just has this tone and this sass to her singing that's so
Mm-hmm.
unique. And her runs, I mean, it's, dude, I'll be on stage screaming, losing my voice during these shows because she'll do a run and I'm like hollering, like trying to
Wow.
get her attention, like, yo, you're killing right now. Not everybody can sing like her,
Yep.
but you can work hard enough to find your strong points. So the point is, it's not about trying to sound like Janae. It's not about trying to sound like me. You're not obligated to play like me, or play like John Patitucci, or play like Thundercat or Mono Neon. Like, find your own thing. You know what I mean? And exercise your own thing. That's the point, and that's what's going to allow you to be able to stick out and be different. The problem is when you try to sound like me. That's the problem, because people are gonna be like, he's trying to sound like Bubby, but he doesn't. He's trying to sound like Patitucci, but he doesn't. You see what I mean? So
Yeah,
uh even for the artists that I've worked with, man, they got, some of them have these massive record deals and this is that and other, and maybe, yeah, you listen to them in the studio and their studio work, their records are killing, but as soon as you hear them live, it's like, oh my goodness, this is like a, you know, a travailed cat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it be sounding crazy, but they're trying, they're working hard. You know, now for the others that's just, you know, doing it because they trying to make money and they want to be famous, you won't last long. It'll
Right.
die off eventually. Like eventually your hit songs won't be hits no more, and some people are gonna be like, I don't feel nothing from their music. You know, that's the way it happens. This is the reason why we'll see certain artists, they show up and 2 years later, nowhere to be
gone.
found. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, and a lot of that is due to them. They're just copying whatever they heard on the radio. That's another thing the labels do. They're like, let's make a song that sounds like Doja Cat. Let's make a song that sounds like, that's whack.
Hmm.
That's whack. And that's what Quincy was talking about. Like he wasn't doing that junk. He was like, nah, I'm about to make something new. Frank Sinatra, even early on, Frank wasn't trying to give him a chance. You know,
Oh, that's interesting.
Quincy's this young black dude from Chicago. What they, nobody was trying to give a boy, hey boy. That's what they was on back then. You know what I'm saying? So they wasn't trying to give him a chance. But finally, when Frank let him give some input, Frank started realizing like, dang, okay, I ain't got nothing like this. You know, I ain't got no music like this. And all of Frank Sinatra's biggest hits, Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
He has like a
You know what I
touch.
mean?
He has like a real
Touch,
golden
man.
touch, man.
Touch. I mean, all
Yeah.
that anything he's done with Stevie or Michael Jackson or
Yeah.
whoever, like it's just it's so unique.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Even the story about "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough." Michael Jackson didn't like the in the intro with the strings,
Yeah.
and he was like, I want to take that out. And Quincy was like, no, we're not taking it out. And basically told Michael, like, you shut up. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Now, all these years later, as soon as that song come on,
You know it. Yep. You
Yeah,
know the
that's
song.
what
Yep.
everybody know. We about to this
yeah.
that's what made
It's
the song.
staple. Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
yeah, staple to that song.
Come on,
Yep.
man. Come on, man. You got a musical genius telling you like, yo, this is, you need to keep this in the song. And Michael Jackson, as great as he was, that was the mediocrity of Michael Jackson. He just, it was like, it's all about me. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Like, I'm, this is gonna make it all about you. If you lead us in here, this is
Right.
gonna elevate you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And that's another thing I like. Shout out to Janae Aiko. That's another thing about her. She'll have us in the studio and we'll do something that's, it might be like a mistake that we did, but she's like, actually, we need to leave that in there.
Mm.
You know,
Interesting.
like when I tell you her mind is open, it's open. Her mind is open, man.
That's what it takes.
She's incredible. She's incredible.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Is there something about your journey you wish you known early on?
Ooh,
Like, what
something
would you
about my.
tell? What kind of advice would you give young Bubby now?
I mean, I would have told myself, don't. You ain't got to cry about it, man. Like I have many moments where I did want to give up when I moved to LA, because I had never been like I had never been talked about for knowing how to do something. You know what I'm saying? That's weird. That's, and I mean, if you look at social media today, think about like all the troll people that's on the internet. Like you'll have like this young kid India that's like this virtuoso guitar player, right? And he's able to play all this amazing stuff, but you'll have all these old people, old men on there hating like, oh, that's not music. No, you just can't do it. Like, and you hated that this little kid can do it and you can't. So you gotta, okay, you have a degree, but and also you hated that this video has 1 million views and stuff. Like that's the day we live in. And
Yes.
for me coming up when there was no social media, but just hearing it from people that at the time I looked up to, it hurt because it's like, dang man, like I just told somebody this morning. Musicians are like chefs, okay? Some musicians can make the most basic meal like some toast, and then other musicians can make toast, but they can also bake you a cake. They can they can make beef Wellington, they can make
Master Chef.
ratatouille.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They could
Yeah.
they could really go. But we live in a society where the people that can only make toast feel like they have a say so about the ones that can make the ratatouille and the beef Wellington. And it's like, cuz, sit down. You can only make toast. There's nothing wrong with only making toast. But you definitely can't speak on behalf of the people that can make beef Wellington and ratatouille. You can't. Absolutely, like, sit down and have a seat. It's like that's the reason why I don't really criticize athletes much. You ain't gonna see me out on the basketball court. Dude,
Yeah.
the sorriest, whoever the sorriest player in the NBA right now will mollywop me. Do you understand me? He's gonna obliterate me. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. That's and who taught me that is my mom and dad. Like when you don't even have that skill, be quiet. Be quiet. Like humble yourself. Be quiet. Like
Yeah.
and but early on that stuff had kind of it had just really hurt my feelings because I couldn't understand, like, you know to me versatility was important to me, being able to play. If somebody asked me to do a R&B gig, okay, I'm ready. But if they ask me to do a Bollywood or a Carnatic music gig, all right, I can do that too. Or Arabic music or Turkish music
That's
or
beautiful. Wow.
polka, like, all right, I can do it. That's what I thought was important. But to hear like, oh, you listen to the Chili Peppers, oh, you corny. And I was like, what? Like I
Yeah.
just couldn't believe it. So if there was anything I would say to myself, it would just be, don't listen to other people. And this is what I tell musicians today. This is what I tell everybody. Like, you just can't listen to what other people say, and you can't let how they view you determine how you view yourself.
Hmm.
You can't let how you know they may determine your worth based off of who you know or what gigs you've done. None of that junk means anything. Like, you gotta walk your own path, man. You gotta find your own lane, and you just gotta walk that mug and not care and not concern yourself with competition. Don't look at other people and try and compare yourself to them, or how many gigs they got or how many records they played on. Like, none of that stuff means anything, man. I know society is groomed into thinking that makes you something. I promise you it doesn't. Like, you can be the greatest of the greatest and have the longest resume, but be a douche,
Hmm.
be a terrible person, and eventually that's going to catch up to you more than all the things that you've done. It's going to catch up to you. It's a lot of musicians, it's a lot of people, actors and actresses and stuff that are great, but they have terrible character, and eventually people get tired of dealing with it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Very true.
So yeah, I mean, it's that's what I would tell anybody today. As long as I'm alive, man, just focus on what really makes you happy. Even even your life ambitions and stuff like that. Like, don't choose what you want to do based off of what everybody else says is popular or what everybody else says is dope. What do you think is dope? For me, yeah, I've done all the biggest festivals, I've done all the arenas, I've done all the I've done all of that stuff, all the TV shows, this, that, and da 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 da. But my dream and my compassion is making music for video games, making
Wow.
music for Japanese anime. That's my that's like my love. If
That's incredible.
if Nintendo hit me up today and was like, "Yo, we want you to make the music for the next Pokemon game,"
Wow.
I'm straight. Y'all ain't
Yeah.
gonna probably ever hear from me again.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and the cold part about it is I don't even care about the money. It's just that's what I love. Now,
Mm.
other people, other bass players may look at that and be like, "That's whack." Well, it's not for you.
Right.
You know, your thing might be you want to just every artist that's hot, you want to have a number one hit with them. If that's your true compassion, go for it. If not compassion, if that's your true passion, go for it. Right? Shoot for it. Shoot for the stars. But I'm not gonna, you know, go after things that I don't really care about. I'm gonna go after what I want. You know, some people look at what I've done and they're like, "Man, I want that. I want what Bubby got." Do you really?
Mm.
Or does it just look good because you think I'm rich, or you think, you know what I'm saying, or because of the people I know? Like, you really got to ask yourself these questions, like, do you really want it because that's what's in your heart, or are you just going after it because you think that this is gonna, make people respect you? Like, what's the reason? You ask
Mm.
yourself, what's the real reason? And I'm grateful, man. I thank the Lord that for a long time, man, I've had just this peace of mind with just being who I am and not trying to be like nobody else. I don't feel like walking nobody else's path or copying. I don't care about, a lot of my homies is like, "Yeah, man, you know, let's do this, let's get this money, this is," and I'm like, "Well, money's not everything to me.
Mm.
It's not." I'm fortunate that I can take care of my family, and I get to do a lot of fun things from time to time, but I've had hard times too. I've struggled. I've had car repossessions. I've had all that. I've been down that road already. You know what I'm saying? And I certainly ain't about to make fun of somebody that deals with that. I'll never laugh at the misfortune of somebody else. That junk is corny. Life can hit anybody, man. So, I'm sorry I went into preaching and stuff like that, man.
No,
But
no,
this
All
we love
good. No,
that.
no.
We love that.
Listen, yeah.
this is just the stuff I think about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I posted something last week about, because I see a lot of people on social media express their anger with this, that, and other. And I've had situations too. I've had people steal from me. I've done work for people and they not pay me, and I've been hated on, and this is that and other. But it's not the end of the world. Like, whoop de doo.
Right.
Like, if I played on this song for you and you don't want to pay me, that's on you. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna expose, like, people. I'm gonna expose this person for what?
Yeah.
The
I
Lord,
think I
the
saw.
Lord knows.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I saw that post. It's,
We-
you posted, "I've been robbed, cheated, put on the back burner, lied on, lied to, mistreated, taken for granted, talked about, had things stolen from me.
All of that.
It never feels good, but I ain't gonna ever do to others what's been done to me."
Not
That
once.
that post right there, that made my week.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. And none of us, as long as we all live, everybody that will listen to this, both of y'all's families, everybody's gonna deal with something like that. And you're never gonna hit a point in your life where you feel like you're big enough and bad enough where it's not gonna happen to you. That's a lie. Snoop still get robbed. Snoop still be having dirt. You talking about Snoop Dogg? This is
Yeah.
like the most household celebrity name in the world.
Mm.
Think about that. Snoop, people still doing Snoop dirty. You better believe it, dude. There's no escaping it. But it's not. It's how you handle it. It's how
Yeah.
you bounce back from it. You know what I mean? And if if Snoop cannot care about it and just keep doing his thing, I can too. Granted, I ain't nowhere near Snoop. I ain't going to the airport hopping on a private jet. I ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? I can walk around and people don't know who I am. I may get a person here and there. That looks like that one bass player, but you talking about a guy. No matter where he goes in the world, everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows what he looked like. Everybody knows his voice. He still gets done wrong.
Wow.
And if he's not complaining, I'm not gonna complain. I
Yeah.
know I'm not where he is, but think about it. Like from one angle, you're like, well, somebody of his caliber, people aren't crazy enough to do him dirty. Who told
Mm,
you that?
mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So if people gonna do him dirty, of course they gonna do me dirty. But it's okay. It's not the end of the world, you know. And it's funny though when I posted that, so many people were like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. Who did it?" Is I'm like, no, y'all have completely missed the point. Like the point
Mm.
is, it's not the end of the world. Like just keep moving, just keep
Exactly.
pressing. You know, I know it's Disney talk, man, but that's what I live by, man. That's what I live by. Like it's all good. Like it's straight. You know, yeah,
It really is.
Yeah.
It
it
really
is,
is.
man.
Hey, you actually passed by my hometown. I'm from Tampa, Florida.
But yeah,
Born in
we was just
Miami.
there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, you
Yeah.
were in Replay Exchange. You did like Replay Guitar
Yep.
Exchange. You did like a clinic out there.
A bass clinic. Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a couple
Yeah.
years ago. And I was just near you. What was that in July?
Oh,
Like
really? Oh, you came out this way?
with Janae. We're actually,
Oh, man.
matter of fact, we're actually gonna be because we got to come back down that way. When is it? When is it? When is it? We actually got to come back down that way. We're doing Miami. I mean,
Okay.
Kaseya Center. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Kaseya Center. What I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, we did the Miami Heat joint. We did
Wow, bro.
yeah, we was just down there for the summer. Just
That's
down that
amazing.
way. Mhm.
That's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
definitely. If you're in the ever in the New England area, do you know? Do you
You
have
in
any
New England
ties to?
now? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any ties to Boston at all? New York, Hartford? Anyone you want to shout
Uh,
out?
um, I mean, I got a lot of homies that live in all of them. Shout out to all the homies. I was just in Boston. I was just there too, doing the Celtics. I was at what is that? What arena is that?
TD Garden.
TD Garden. Yeah, we just
Oh,
did TD
okay.
Garden. Are we coming back that way? Pittsburgh, New York, Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. Not really, I guess not. But yeah,
I'll be on the lookout, man. I'll be on the
Yeah,
lookout.
man.
yeah. I like coming over that way, man. I love coming over that way. I wish I had a cheat day, man. I would give me some clam chowder and some cheesecake and stuff. But
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, New
New
England
England
clam
clam
chowder.
chowder.
Yeah.
man,
Yes.
you already know, man. That junk good in the mug. Put a gang of cheese up in that mug, man. Shoot.
Yeah. I'm saying. I'm
Yeah, dog.
saying. But
Yeah, man.
what advice would you give up and coming musicians in 2024? They're in the new music scene. Teach us. Drop some wisdom on us. What advice would you give in terms of not just maybe beyond the notes, more like on the business aspect of it? What should we be looking out for? How can we build our careers in
And
a 2024
what
market?
what I would tell all musicians right now is um first and foremost, don't be anybody that you're not. Um, you know, I have to say this. I have to be honest. A lot of musicians assume that when you get into the industry, you kind of gotta be the cliche musician. What I mean by that is, I'm gonna just tell the truth, man. Like I don't care. You gotta be the partier. Everybody's not a partier. So I promise you, if you think that that's the life and that people are gonna think you're cool because you get drunk and plastered every day and stuff like that, it's not. You'll lose your job.
Mhm.
Um, Majority of the artists that are real artists, they love professionalism, and they love it when musicians can be on time. They love it when musicians can just be just be cool to be around, you know, chill to be around. Um, don't be anybody that you're not. Uh, as far as the business side, what I would say is open up multiple accounts if you can, and try and save as much money as you can. Don't do things to try and impress people back home. You know, like I gotta say this, man, because
Drop the
when I
knowledge,
moved,
man. Yeah.
yeah, when I moved to LA, the stuff that I was hearing, man, like there was guys that would be like, you know, you got to drive a certain type of car in order for people to respect you. That's crazy. That's absolutely bananas that that's a thing. Meanwhile, out here in Japan, millionaires and billionaires ride the train.
Mm.
That's
Driving a
crazy.
car is not the thing out here. Like it's like New York. People don't really drive cars like that out here
Yep.
because it's safe enough. You can walk everywhere, and they have the most trains in the world in Japan that take you anywhere and everywhere. So, um, you know, don't worry about like the outward image stuff, and just be who you are. And sorry about that siren.
No problem.
No problem. We can edit all that stuff out.
Okay, but you know, save your money if you can. Do the best you can to save your money. Don't let money be your god. Um, don't let
No.
your opportunity change you. You know, the calls that you get, the opportunities that you get, the things that you're doing. Don't ever let that stuff make you think that you're somebody special, because the Lord, just as quick as he can give it to you, he can take all that
Take it
junk
away.
That's
away
very true. That's
right
very
off
true.
top. Like you'll have everything. It seems like you getting calls every day, and then next thing you know, you sitting back at home and nobody wants to deal with you ever again.
Yep.
It's the saddest thing in the world, man. What's gonna keep you working is your character, not even your skill. It's your character, it's your
Wow.
personality. Continue to practice, continue to try and, you know, get better and be better and challenge yourself, but be humble, you know, be genuinely caring and be genuinely friendly to people. You know, don't be an opportunist. That's another thing. Like don't try and get cool with people just so you can get things. You know, like like make real friends. You know what I mean? Um, if people do you dirty, don't ever like take it to heart so much that it stays with you. Brush that junk off. You have to, because you got to keep moving. You know, time ain't stopping. So you, while you sitting up there, somebody did you wrong in January, and here we are at the end of the year, and you still mad about it. Like, what are you doing? You know, come on. Like, you
Facts.
gotta let it go. You gotta move on. You have to. Um, if you can start like an LLC or something like that and get your payments through that, do that. This is all stuff I learned later on. Um, that I wish I knew right away. I wish somebody would have told me about this right away, but it took a few years. Um, yeah, you know, like for me, the everybody's experience is going to be different. So I can't really say like if you do this, this is guaranteed to happen. Everybody's experience is going to be different. But
Of
what I
course.
will say is, it's just, you know, be smart. Everything that you're doing, really think thoroughly about it before you make certain decisions. You know, think about when you do get calls for certain gigs or whatever it might be. Think about, will this really make you happy? You know, will you really enjoy doing this thing? You know, and for me, I say yes and no based on that. Will this be good for me? Just the other day, somebody texted me and was like, "Hey, I need you for this project, and it's with a massive artist, a massive artist." And I said I didn't even bother responding because I'm not doing it. Y'all can edit this out later, but it was absolutely not. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not working with I'm not working with I've already been down that road, and he's not a pleasant person to work with. I don't care how much money he's paying. I'm not doing it. I told y'all that, but yeah, I don't know if y'all want to. You can blot it out if you want to, whatever. It
Yeah, yeah,
don't.
we got you.
I don't give a flying flip. It don't matter to me, honestly. but you have to choose what you're gonna do wisely based on what's gonna benefit you. Spiritually, mentally. Um, all money ain't good money. This is stuff. This is stuff that I even heard from Quincy. This is stuff that I've heard from Dog, even from Goucher, from a lot of my heroes. All money's not good money. Like you got to be smart, but most importantly, you just want to make sure that when you get called and when you leave those opportunities, that you leave something good people have to say about you. Not just your playing, not just your skill, but your character. Your character, your personality is everything. Just
I
be
agree.
cool and just be kind to people, man. Be somebody that people like to be around, that they like to work with. Think about it. You going out on tour, you're living with people on the road for months at a time. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Don't nobody want to be around a jerk, you know?
Yeah.
Don't be a diva. Don't be none of that stuff. Like be mindful of the people around you. Always consider others even before yourself. This stuff my parents taught me. Like think about the other people around you before you think about yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it
Exactly.
feels good. It feels good to look at life like that. It feels good when you consider others first, you know?
Right. Right.
So that's just more Disney stuff, but that's just stuff I live by.
All good. Yeah, we
We
love it.
love
We
it.
love it.
We love
Real
it.
quick,
Yep.
you also use GK. What do you use in the studio? Do you use Gallagher Kruger preamps and pedals in the
Sometimes
studio as well?
sometimes I'll use a head in the studio, or sometimes depending on the situation, depending on what sound they're looking for, I'll use the head and the cabinet, and they'll mic it, to get like that vintage type of room, plus the room you could hear people breathing type
Yeah.
of. So
Yep.
it just depends, but for stage always is GK all the time. Uh Usually in the studio, majority of the time I'm going direct.
Okay.
If I'm recording at home, I just go directly into my interface. I do use a lot of different stuff though, man. I got all kind of pedals. Basically, every pedal that Roland or Boss makes for bass, I have it. Some of them I got
Yeah.
two and three of the same pedal. I mean, I don't play guitar, but I got guitar pedals.
That's
Anything
right.
that they
Yeah.
make, I
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
I've seen you
Any.
use Roland pedals too.
Yep.
Are you
The
because you're endorsed with
BB99.
Roland as well?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, I've been with them for years, man, and their headquarters is actually out here in Japan too.
Wow.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're out there too.
Yeah, man.
So are you familiar with the? You know what I'm trying to get my hands on is
What's that?
the Roland keytar.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a keyboard. Do you play Keybase at all? Have you tried one of
I
those?
can. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're killing. I actually, funny thing is, I have the Lucina, which is the smaller version that came out, and then I have the full version. Uh, I don't have it out here in Japan with me though. I literally left that mug up at the Roland office in Commerce, California, in LA. Like it's just dude, it's there's like five keyboards that I have that were given to me that are just still in boxes, probably just sitting in the office back in Cali right now. I just never brought them home. But I can play key bass. Yeah, it's not. I can't play it like I can play electric bass. Like if you tell me to solo on key bass, it's gonna be like do 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 do. Like I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely can't move as fast at all. But even with that, that's something I'm this third record I'm doing. I'm doing more of that key bass stuff, and I'm really
Oh,
practicing that a lot more.
that's beautiful.
Um, yeah, but yeah, key bass is sweet, man. It's dope in a lot of different situations. Yeah,
Yeah.
It has its context. Definitely has its
yeah, it
context.
does. It does for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man,
So I think we're gonna
man,
start
Bubby.
wrapping it up.
Yeah, man, Bubby. We appreciate your time, man. We
Nothing,
truly
man.
appreciate you dropping knowledge and gems, and really showing us a piece of you. Like allowing us to see really a piece of you and hear what's really in your heart. We really appreciate you coming, being really humble, and coming on our show, man. And we just want
Man,
to thank you.
it's nothing at all, man. Hopefully I didn't talk y'all ear off, man. That's
No,
all it is.
no,
We
no,
gotta have
man.
you again, man. You were
I'm gonna
cool.
look back at this
Anytime.
episode and watch this like 1,000 times. You know what I mean? So
Anytime y'all want me to, man. I love sharing different stories and stuff like that. Anything that can help folks. You know what
yeah,
I mean? I'm always down for that, man. So I appreciate you guys for reaching out to me and, letting me be a part of this. My hope is that, man, my hope is that people will just look at themselves, man, and try and be better for themselves, for them, because they know it'll benefit them. We're not supposed to live our life to be pleasing to anybody, and if I can be honest, I want to please the Lord. That's what I want to do.
yeah.
um I want to be pleasing in the Lord's sight. I want to be everything that I do. I want to be an example. Even me being in the music industry, it's dark.
Mm.
The music industry is super dark, but that's all the more reason why it's great. More, man, great power comes great responsibility.
Yep,
Let me
yep.
go out here and be an example to show people that the Lord Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the light. And that's all I want, man. And my hope is that people will see me and hear what I'm saying and be inspired to get to know who the Lord is and to just want to be better people. I want to be better. I'm not perfect by any means. The Bible says our righteousness is filthy rags. It is. I don't care if I'm fasting and praying all day long. It don't matter. It don't mean nothing. So I want to be better myself. So yeah, but again, sorry I veered off into that, but I
No,
Oh
no.
appreciate y'all.
no, definitely. And
Appreciate y'all, man.
do you have any shout outs before we close it out? Do you have anybody you want to shout out or anything?
I want to shout out my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, amen.
Yes,
First and
amen.
first and foremost, Acts 2:38. Baptized in the name of Jesus Christ.
I
Repent and be
love
Amen.
it.
baptized in the name of Jesus Christ for the remission of sins, and you shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. And there will be tongues. You gonna speak in tongues. I ain't talking about the phony stuff. I'm talking about the real stuff.
Hmm.
Shout out to my wife and my children, my daughters. Shout out to MTD, Galleon Kruger, Labella, Roland, Boss, Groove Gear, Bartolini, 64 Audio, Reason, Presonus.
Woo.
Make
It's a
sure,
long
do I got
list.
everybody?
Yeah, I have the
I don't
list
want to
here.
leave.
I have the list here. Actually, it's pretty long.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't leave
we got.
nobody out. Shout out to all the different artists that I'm so fortunate to work with, man. Everybody from Snoop to Lupe to Janae to October. I mean, everybody I've been fortunate. I can't go down the whole list of everybody, but just people that give me the opportunity to be myself and work with them and create. I appreciate them. And yeah, man, just shout out to y'all for reaching out to me and
Everything, anything,
all the people.
baby.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. And shout out to all the people around the world that have been supporting me, whether you just started or whether you've been with me since day one. um I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful that people even give a guy like me a chance. I'm just a country boy from Flint, Michigan, man. We eat raccoon and possum. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for folks that support me and been rocking with me for however long. I'm grateful to everybody. So yeah, man,
Absolutely.
that's all I got to say.
quickly, in 30
Yeah, yeah,
seconds, what's your top
yeah.
5 anime shows that you like watching? Because I'm an anime
Uh,
fan too.
okay, I gotta put anything with Goku in its own. There's
Yes, sir.
no
Yes.
comparison.
Yes, sir.
Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah,
GT,
yeah.
Dragon Ball Super,
Super.
Dragon
Yeah,
Ball Daima, which is out
yeah,
now. That's in a league of its own. Can't be compared to nothing. One Piece also is in a league of its own. Can't be compared to nothing. Those are my top two. Next after that, I would probably say like JoJo, Bizarre Adventure, Hunter x Hunter. If I were to give some shout out to some classics, Yu Yu Hakusho. The
Yep.
greatest anime movie of all time is Akira, hands
Yep.
down. But I gotta shout out Ghibli Studios for all those movies. If you want to cry, uh,
Tearjerkers.
yeah, it's here. I've seen basically every Ghibli movie, and all them joints make me cry, man. I cry. Um, I like all anime, man. I would be here for 20 days, 40 days and 40 nights talking about it. I've seen so much stuff, man, but I gotta tell people, if you ain't never seen One Piece, I know it's long, but it's the reason why it's long is because the story is cracking. It's probably the most gangster anime I ever seen in my life. Um, it's special. Watch One Piece, and let me see if I were to give one more, another new one, Kaiju number 8.
Okay.
Kaiju number 8. And shout out to Godzilla, man. I'm a big Godzilla fan.
Godzilla.
Godzilla is so fire. Ultraman.
That whole
Gaiaca.
franchise. Yeah,
Hey, Chris Tucker is a fool for that. Jackie Chan is, first off, Jackie Chan is Chinese. He ain't even Japanese. Like,
yes, weird. Yes, I'm weak.
the fact
crazy.
that this cat said Gaiaca, dog. What is Gaiaca? They don't even say Gaiaca. They say Gogeta. Gogeta.
Yeah.
They say Gaiaca.
Gaiaca.
Yo, Chris Tucker, man. It was so funny.
Chris Tucker, yo.
If he would have did that in this day and age, they would have tried to cancel him, man.
Oh, you know what? 100%
Think
true, bro.
about
I'm with
that.
you on that.
Think about
Yeah.
that. Like, man, this generation is soft, bro.
I know, bro.
Man, like,
Thank you for saying that. Oh my gosh,
Bruh.
man.
the stuff y'all make sure y'all keep that. Like the stuff that Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler and them and Martin and them was doing back in the day, bro. Like funny.
Gold.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Funny gold, man.
Yeah.
Chris Tucker and them, Eddie Murphy, like they'll get canceled today for that junk, man.
Yeah.
This dude said
Facts.
Gaiaca.
Gaiaca.
Chinese, bro. Jackie Chan is Chinese.
I know, it's crazy.
Gaiaca, dog. That is ridiculous.
That's out there.
But man, thank you, Bubby, once again, man, and we hope to have you back again.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
And hopefully we get to see you at one of the shows.
Yeah,
at the East
definitely.
Coast.
Y'all let me know, man. How far is Maryland? Like, what kind of drive?
It's not
is
too
that?
far. It's
Like
not
4
too far.
hours, 5
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, it's not too far.
Yeah, it's not too
What
far.
about Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh is right equidistant. It's not too far.
Yeah.
We'll definitely. I'm gonna hit you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also NAM show. We're looking at possibly going to NAM show. Very
Nice.
likely. If you're gonna go to NAM, coming
I
up in
do plan on
January.
it, man. I do plan on coming to NAM show. I know Janae is supposed to do like a Europe run and some Australian stuff like that, but we just haven't figured out when. But I definitely want to come to NAM, man. I haven't been since 2020, right before COVID hit us. That was my last one.
I got you.
Right before. Yeah, so I'm trying to come, man. If y'all come through, man, we'll hang and eat and stuff, man.
I'm
Hell
with
yeah.
that.
Let's do it.
I'm with
Yeah.
that.
All right,
man.
man.
All right. Take
Thank
care.
you. Take care, Bubby.
All right,
This is the
y'all
Everything
keep
and
it
Anything show.
Everything.
Thank you for
anything.
watching. We out.
We out.
Appreciate y'all, man.